Alright, guys, what's up? David Patrick here once again. Today we're going to do another video. This time we're going to take a look at the 2002 movie that's the first Marvel starring Tony Maguire, Kirsten Dunst, James Franco, and Willem Dafoe. And that is Spider-Man. Now, Spider-Man came out in 2002. It was the same year that Men in Black 2 came out. Stuart Little 2 and Master of Disguise as well. This was the first movie that they started off with. So the first movie tells a story how Tobey Maguire's Peter Parker comes to be Spider-Man, because there are two versions of this DVD. There's this one, and then there's the one on the VHS cover when he's doing that. There are also two formats of this, widescreen and full screens. This one has the introduction of the Green Goblin, Spider-Man's arch enemy. So the story on this movie tells a story about how Peter Parker became the Spider. So let's get on to the review. So I remember seeing this on VHS, or I remember watching it on TBS on TV, or on VHS. I think it was on VHS. I went to my Aunt Becca's house at the time while I was little. I watched the first Spider-Man movie, Good Old Times. I think it was around when number 3 was about to make, or I think it was before the second movie was making, or I can't remember now. But so let's get to the picture. So if you guys already noticed this is a good Spider-Man movie. As my number, I like the first one. So Spider-Man opens up, like happens in the movie. Peter Parker is a normal guy. He falls in love with Mary Jane, but her boyfriend Flash is a bully. Flash has friends that pick on Peter as well. Flash is a bully. And then in the science fair sequence, Peter Parker and Peter is there. Mary Jane starts waving at Peter's doing this to MJ, and MJ gives him, and she was just, I mean, you guys already know what happened. I'm trying to do the best I can about the movie plot of Spider-Man. Later in the scene, we meet Willem Dafoe, Norman Osborn, aka the Green Goblin. Now, the Green Goblin, okay, let's talk about the Green Goblin and Spider-Man. Now, people were saying that the Green Goblin reminds them of a Power Ranger. How in the world can this be a Power Ranger? Like, yes, I know it's a Power Ranger and such, but so yes, Spider-Man, a good movie, such a good comic book movie. So let's get back to the film. So it kind of reminds me of Batman 1989 with Michael Keaton and Jack Nicholson as both Batman and Joker. I think if you take these two superheroes together, like Batman 1989 and this one, Spider-Man. So, what can I say Okay, so Uncle Ben, there's a. Let's see, what other scenes? Oh, yes. So, the spider bites Peter. He looks at his hand, and. Or, he looks where the spider bites him, and the Oscorp Industry guys are showing the general the prototype and such. So what happens is, you're out, Norman. Am I? And then let's see what else happens is that Peter Parker's back at school, and he he starts. Meanwhile, back at the Uncle Aunt May and Uncle Ben's house, you got a scene where Uncle Ben is fixing a light or something, and then Peter doesn't feel well. He goes, I had a crash, everything is fine. Goes upstairs, starts getting dizzy and such, stuff like that. So he falls asleep. Starts having these dreams about the spiders and the DNA inside of him. Then it starts going into black, and then meanwhile we see Norman Osborn becoming. You guys will laugh at this in a minute, but Dr. Oxford, please, the informers is already. We can't do this. 2 weeks, 2 weeks, and 4,000 years and everything. And Norman Osborn starts trying to get into this table thing so he can get the Oscorp green gas or something. And then one of the Oscorp doctors starts doing this to the keyboard. And so what happens is Norman Osborn starts doing this like. And then the one guy oh my god, Norman! Norman! And then the heartbeater starts, and then opens up the eyes, a jump scare right there, and then he says, back to formula. And then he starts pushing his I guess his doctor or his buddy out the window, and he starts jumping on a window like oh man, that was such a oh, I know I know he was trying to be like Joker right there, but let's get back to the movie. So Peter Parker wakes up, and then he goes sees Mary Jane, and he starts doing this to his arms like, ooh. So skip ahead, we got Uncle Ben taking Peter Parker to the library, but Peter wants to make money to get Mary Jane a car, wrestle. And then what happens next? So Uncle Ben has already been murdered. So Peter upset upset that his uncle has been shot. Blood on his he got shot by the guy that was robbing the money that was actually Flip Marco's buddy in Spider-Man 3. That was actually his partner. So, if you guys already noticed about that sequence, the guy that you guys know in Spider-Man, the guy that shot Uncle Ben, it's actually Flint Marko in Spider-Man 3. But we'll get into... Actually, yes, the guy that was in Spider-Man that shot Uncle Ben, the murder of Uncle Ben, is actually Flint Marko's buddy. So, I know, yes. So, Peter Parker has the wrestler Spider-Man, stops the burglar. Just give me a chance. What should I give you a chance? Kill my uncle. Did you? And he starts having flashbacks and stop that guy. And then Peter goes home and tells Aunt May what happened to Uncle Ben. They start... Both of them are sad that Uncle Ben's gone. And then the next sequence we get is the general talking to another guy. And a guy in a robot machine starts flying, and one of the generals talks about Norman Osborn trying to get... So, would you like to plead? Mark. Oh my god. And the guy hears a laugh where he's like talking into the mic that, has the black and such. He hears somebody laughing. And you guys already noticed this. It's the Green Goblin. So, and the Green Goblin starts like throwing a pumpkin ball at the guy in the machine, starts blow up, and then later on and then you see the Green Goblin on the glider flying into the shadow and starts throwing pumpkin bombs at the general, and then next thing you know, Peter and the others are graduated, and Flash broke up with Mary Jane, and then later in the picture, you see Peter go back in the house. Aunt May tells him, "Can I make you something?" "No, I'm good." But no. But we get into a next scene. Peter is upset that Uncle Ben's gone, and both of them are talking. I miss him too. And then he loved you. And then gets out the Spider-Man drawing, looks at it, and narrated by Uncle Ben. With great power comes great responsibility. Remember that, Pete. Remember that. And then what happens later in the picture? Oh yes, J. Jonah Jameson. We see J. Jonah Jameson, and then later on we see Norman Osborn talks to Oscorp Industries with a whole bunch of the people. And then later on in the picture, let's see what happens in the next picture. Oh yes. So Harry and Mary Jane are having this party. Baby. Singing by some lady I can't think of. Green Goblin shows up. Spider-Man has to stop him. And he starts pulling his... Peter Parker pulls his spider suit to get ready. And then people look out, see what happened, like see what's flying. And one of the guys that Norman knows, he says, "What is that? Something new this year." And people are just like, that's our glider. And then let's see what happens next. So Spidey starts jumping on these giant balloons trying to save Mary Jane. And he says, Mary Jane! If you guys remember the 1994 Spider-Man cartoon. So what happens next? So what happens next is the Green Goblin starts grabbing Spidey. I forgot to talk about the Spider-Man punching Green Goblin, showing his butt suit. But I'll get to that in a second. But so he starts punching. Watch out, and then Spidey starts grabbing underneath the glider and starts pulling it. And then he starts shooting his web at Green Goblin's mask, and he does like, ah! We'll meet again, Spider-Man! Hold on, Mary Jane. And then they start swinging, and, hold on, Mary Jane. Spider-Man saves her, and then next they start swinging. Well, taking the subway. Don't mind my GTDG elevator. Wait a minute. Who are you? You know who I am. I do. Your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. What do you mean he's incredible? And then Harry talks to Mary Jane, and what do you mean he's incredible? Alright. Don't let the bed starts hanging up on Harry, and I'm sorry, Peter. She's gonna be okay. I'm gonna stay up for a while. What was that thing? I don't know. But whatever it is, somebody has to stop it. And then meanwhile, we get back into Norman Osborn's home. He starts drinking something, alcohol or something, and he says, somebody... What's that? Don't plan to deceive with me. You know all along. Where are you? Follows the course and run it down your spine. And then, what I like about this scene that I'm gonna do, like, where the mask does, like, I'm over here. I don't understand. Think you was just coincidence. Saw a thing to make things all happening for you, all for you, Norman. What do you want? To say what you want, to do what you can, to remove those in your ways. The board members, you kill them. We kill them. We? Remember your little accident in the laboratory? Bingo. Me, your greatest creation. Bringing you what you've always wanted from all the wildest dreams. And this all in the beginning. There's only one who can stop us. Or imagine if you join us. Ha 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 ha. And then J. Jonah Jameson starts reading Spider-Man and the Green Goblin. The Green Goblin, you like that? And J. Jonah Jameson starts smoking a cigar. And then Peter tells him Spider-Man was not tagging the city. It was not. Where's the lawyer? Get out of here. He starts throwing his cigar, and then next thing you know, his cigar lays on the desk. And then Green Goblin shows up and he says, Take it, you slime. Which is the photographer takes the pictures of Spider-Man? You're lying. He's the one who can bring me. I don't know who he is. You're loose. Set him down, tough guy. Speak of the devil, Spider-Man. I know you two are this together. Hey, kiddo, Mom and Dad talking to me, will you? Sleep. Wake up, little spider. Wake up. No, you're not dead, not dead. Temporarily. You're the amazing creature, Spider-Man. You and I are not so different. I'm not like you. You're a murderer. Well, do it yourself. I chose my path, you chose the hero. And they found me on music for a while, the people in this city. But the one thing that does more than a hero is serial fall, Firelight. Inspiring everything you've done for them. And eventually they will hate you. Why bother? Because it's right. Here's the real truth. There are 8 million people in this city. So shoot, well, Chris, I could squash you like a bug right now. You Joyce, join me on this commerce together. Well, we would create, or we could destroy. Over again and again and again and again. Talk about that. Is that what you want? Think about it, hero. Then next thing, a truck that has a newspaper throws the newspaper. Peter Parker looks at Spider-Man and he says, "Is that everything you've done for them? Especially they will hate you. Why bother?" Peter starts talking to Mary Jane about dinner. Then Mary Jane is trying to, tries to fight these 3 bully guys or something, robbers or something. Spider-Man shows up, saves Mary Jane, upside down kiss. And then the next scene you see is where a house got burnt on fire. And then what else, guys? What else is there to talk about? Well, let's see. What else is there to talk about? Say my baby, please. And then Spider-Man shows up, saves the mom's baby. Not coming back, Chief. Spider-Man goes into the building and he hears a girl screaming, but it's not actually a girl. It's actually the Green Goblin in a hood. You're definitely the typical about the laws of the clan. What am I, Universal Pearls? Are you in or are you out? It's you, it's out, Gobby. Out of your mind. Wrong answer. No one says no to me. And then what happens next? Oh, yes. Spider-Man does a backflip and such. Norman. Trying to do the best I can on this movie, guys. Let's see what is there to do. Let's see what is there to talk about next. All right, so the next part is going to be the having Peter or Aunt May, MJ, Harry, and Norman Osborn gets out of the gate. We're just dancing around. Harry, relax, and then she he start Norman starts giving Aunt May a fruit pie, and then he starts waiting for Peter. And then next thing you know, Peter Park Spidey comes in, takes off the mask, and then he just notices that no people are coming, so he has to hide. Gets up onto the wall, and next thing you know, blood starts dripping down onto the floor. And Norman looks up, and then he hears a drop of blood, and he looks down. And then he looks up, and then he does this war sound like. And then he starts looking out the window, or out the building, I should say. Spider-Man's right underneath where Norman's trying to look. And then the next scene is where Peter comes in, Park. And then when Aunt May gets all the food ready, she starts slapping Norman Osborn on his hand. And he's like, ah, Norman, would you do the honors? And then he takes two knives and starts. And then Aunt May realizes that Peter's arm is bleeding. And Norman's looking at Peter like. And you know Norman Osborn is thinking back of his head like, bike messenger. Bike messenger. Knock me down. How can you say that? Bike messenger. And Norman Osborn gets up, he leaves, and the Green Goblin mask talks about Norman Osborn to the hot Osborn. First, we attack his heart. Aunt May looks at a picture of Uncle Ben, and what else can I say? The house gets damaged by the Green Goblin. Green Goblin says, "Finish it! Finish it!" And then Aunt May starts freaking out and such. And then what happens next? Let's see. What happens next? Peter Parker goes into the hospital, sees Aunt May, and she's like, "There's horrible yellow eyes." And then let's see. What happens next? What happens next? And then Peter gets out in the door and he says, "He knows who I am." And then he starts by waking. Mary Jane is going to see Aunt May. Peter and Aunt May starts holding hands. Peter tells Spider-Man that Mary Jane is... Okay, so what happens next? Harry goes back to the house, the Oscorp house. So goes and see his father, tells him about Peter and Mary Jane. Are you around about? And then when those two hug, and then Green Goblin does a jump scare. Aunt May tells Peter to wake up. And then next thing you know, Peter starts calling Mary Jane up and starts by calling her. She don't answer, and next thing you know, the Green Goblin is answering the phone for Mary Jane. Is Spider-Man come out to play? Where is she? Alright, and then Mary Jane wakes up in this, I guess, where the Green Goblin captured her. So, Spider-Man, or Green Goblin blows everything up. Goblin, what have you done? And then next thing you know, Green Goblin starts carrying this big, I guess it's like, I can't remember what it is when all the hostages, but so the next scene takes place where Peter, Spider-Man, and Green Goblin got the hostages and suffered the little children, and he also has Mary Jane. Don't do it, Goblin. We all choose to be new. And he starts following them both at the same time. Spider-Man saves both of them, and Green Goblin starts looking down like, ah. He's gonna make. And a bunch of these the New York people starts throwing stuff at the Green Goblin for saving Spidey from the Green. Leave Spider-Man alone. He's gonna. Mess with one of us, you mess with all of us. And then Green Goblin takes Spider-Man, and what happens? Oh yes, they're in a damaged house, and then Green Goblin throws a pumpkin bomb, and next thing you know, he says, "Misery, misery, misery. That's what you chose. I thought you friendship, and you spat in my face." So Green Goblin starts punching Spider-Man. Spider-Man's trying to do his... And then Green Goblin starts Green Goblin does all this. You spineless web, Spider-Man. And you're not yourself selfish. As a little girlfriend's dad who you clean the glaze, now you really make me angry. I'm gonna finish it nice and slow. And Jay and I, we're gonna have a hell of a time. Then Peter starts punching Green Goblin, and then next thing you know, Green Goblin's like, "Peter, stop, it's me." Takes off the mask, and it's Norman Osborn. Mr. Osborn. And then next thing you know, trying to kill Aunt May, you're trying to kill Mary Jane. Okay, so what happens next is he starts pressing a button to his glider. I have a partner. I have a father. His name was Ben Parker. Godspeed, Spider-Man. And Spider senses tingling, and he starts by the glider gets into Norman. Peter, don't tell Harry, and then he starts. And then you got the Green Goblin's mask on the floor, on the ground, and you got Peter Parker looking down. It's still dark, and Peter puts Norman Osborn on his bed, and Harry comes in. What have you done? What have you done? He starts getting a gun out, and next thing you know, funeral for Norman Osborn, and one day Spider-Man will pay. So sorry, Harry. One day Spider-Man will pay. Spider-Man will pay. Thank God for you, Peter. And then we got one more scene to go. Mary Jane tells Peter that she was almost going to die up there, and Peter Parker gives Mary Jane a kiss, and we got the narration. I'll never get these words. This is my kiss, my curse. Who am I? I'm Spider-Man, and it starts doing the Danny Elfman's Spider-Man on American flag, and there you guys go. That was a 2002 Spider-Man review on the blockbuster hit Spider-Man. Now, what do I think of this movie? Well, it was a good comic book movie. I watched it. Pretty good movie. It was a excellent movie. So, what do I think of the film itself? The film itself was really good. So I give this one a 10 out of 10. A plus, a 10 out of 10. The scenes in the picture, yes. And it also has a music video. Hero All, What Are We All About? Countdown to Spider-Man 2 website, Web Slicks. Disc 1, Disc 2. There you guys go. That was the making of. That was a look at the 2002 blockbuster hit, Spider-Man. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys next time. Peace.